After 3 seasons of coming in second, Arsenal turned to Andrea Berta with the hopes to bolster the squad enough to finally lift the Premier League. I've given myself the challenge of taking those players to find out if they're good enough in Football Manager to lift the Premier League. Coming in to be the number 2 was Kepa. He's experienced now, he had a good season at Bournemouth, and he's ready to be the number 2 in Mikel Arteta's side. After that, they would turn their attention, well, that's a lie. He was targeted for over a year, Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. He's come through the door and he's ready to dictate tempo for the Arsenal. Now, of course, Arsenal lost 2 CDMs, so they had to buy 2 CDMs. It was Christian Norgard who would come in to replace Jorginho. That was not all. It was Noni Madueke who was signed from Chelsea to back up Bukayo Saka and provide some competition on the left-hand side. Now you know that Arsenal went and lost Tomiyasu, so they had to replace him. So they got a centre-back that can play right-back in Christian Mosquera. Now this is the signing that everybody was waiting for. Who would be the guy to put the ball in the back of the net? The answer to that question, Victor Gyökeres, the man who went on strike, the man who said, I'm going nowhere but Arsenal. He's here, he's wearing number 14, and will he score enough goals for us to lift the Premier League? And just as Arsenal fans thought, nah, that's us, we're all done, Arsenal pulled a dagger to bring Ebere Eze from Crystal Palace. He was going to Spurs until he picked up the phone, and now he's home, our number 10 for the season, Eze. There's one more, Piero Hincapi, the left back who can play centre back, the centre back who can play left back. It doesn't matter, he's at the Arsenal this season. In the quarterfinal of the Champions League, it was Barcelona versus Arsenal. This was how we lined up with David Raya, Timber, Gabriel Saliba, Ben White, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Saka. You can see how Barcelona lined up on the other hand side. Hans Flick? Anyways, Odegaard would hit. It would be Bukayo Saka who would make it 1-0 to the Arsenal, giving us the lead in the quarterfinal. Victor Gyökeres would set up Declan Rice, who says, here you go, skipper, my skipper, and Martin Odegaard would make it 2-0. But then that would not be all. It would be a horrendous tackle, doesn't quite look like it, from Gavi to take out Martinelli that would ensure that Arsenal play this game with a one-man advantage. Gavi would be sent off. Gavi. I butchered that. Anyways, we'd go on, and the Arsenal press would be relentless as Martinelli would make it 3-0 to the Arsenal inside 34 minutes. In the second half, Bukayo Saka would make it 4. Would you believe it if I told you? And that would not be all. Ebere Eze would launch a masterful free kick to make it, is it 4 or 5? I've lost count. In the second leg, it would be Barcelona with Dani Olmo making it 1-0. But that would be too little too late as Lewandowski would chop Julian Timber up, and it would be another red card. What's going on with Barcelona? But that would not stop them. They would be on the charge, Barcelona. They'd whip it into the box. A mistake from Kepa. Kepa's playing because Raya is injured. But then Arsenal would bounce back with Gabriel Magalhaes. It would be 2-1. It would be Zubimendi who picks it up, almost finds Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Julian Timber, Declan Rice. Martinelli would make it 1-1, 2-2. But we would get a penalty. Why was it not showed? Who knows? Martin Odegaard would score, and it would be 3-2 and game over. It would be the North London derby where London boys Eze and Saka would start on the wings for the Arsenal. And of course, what would you expect? Bukayo Saka with a lung-busting run. He would find Odegaard, who would find Saka again. And Bukayo Saka would say, here you go, Ebere Eze. And it's something you haven't seen from that left-hand side in real life. Eze would make it 1-0. In the 90th minute, Spurs were still hoping for an equalizer. But it would be Zubimendi, Lewis Kelly, and a bang from Noni Madueke. Didn't they say he's a former Spurs Academy boy? Anyways, we go on to Liverpool, who signed Marcus Thuram for some reason. They love spending money in this game. Robertson would whip it in there, and it would be big Virgil van Dijk who would make it 1-0 to the Liverpool. But then Arsenal would start strutting their stuff. It would be Timber, it would be Rice, it would be Gyökeres, it would be Martinelli. Martinelli would be moving. Martinelli, he loses the ball and somehow gets it back, and Declan Rice would make it 1-1. And there we go, Zubimendi, Declan Rice. That's the second half. Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, 2-1 to the Arsenal. And then Declan Rice would make a howler. We can't blame Kepa for that. That's all Declan Rice, 2-2. In the semi-final, to be Arsenal versus Olympique Marseille. Have Arsenal ever had a better opportunity than this? Kepa's playing with the injured David Raya, but Arsenal would be moving with Victor Gyökeres making it 1-0 inside the first 9 minutes. But Marseille would say, we're here for a reason, and they'd be in there with Amin Ghouri to make it 1-1. Arsenal off the corner. It would be Saliba. It would be poor defending, and Gabriel would make them pay. That's 2-1. The second leg at the Emirates, you would find Hincapi playing. You would find Zubimendi, who would look for Bukayo Saka, who would find Bukayo Saka, and Victor Gyökeres says, I'll take care of that. And it would be a mistake pounced on by Victor Gyökeres to make it 2-0 and game, set and match to the Arsenal. That would not be all, though. There'd be more highlights. It would be Zubimendi, 3-0 to the Arsenal in 30 minutes. We'd have Man United next. Would you find Onana still at the club? It shows you how far it's been recorded. Eze! It would be Gabriel to make it 1-0. That would not be all. It would be Martinelli. No, it wouldn't. It's Martin Odegaard! 2-0 to the Arsenal. But there goes Kai Havertz, Lewis Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, 3-0. Game, set and match. But they are not done yet, are they, Arsenal? It's Noni Madueke. It's 4. It would be Chelsea next in the London derby. And you know Arsenal love those set pieces. Odegaard would find Saka, and it would be a worldie. It would be a worldie for 1-0. But that would not be what Chelsea would fight. It would be Cole Palmer. 1-1. It would be Bukayo. Skips over his man. Skips over Declan. And Miles Lewis-Skelly would make it 2-1 to the Arsenal. But that would not be all. It would be an own goal. That looks like an own goal. But 3-1. We would play Newcastle. Nothing would happen until the second half when Ebere Eze would pick it up. And Ebere Eze would make it 1-0. This match would be very significant in the season. It would be Newcastle who whip it in there. And it would be Malik Thor to make it 1-1. But Eze again would make it 2-1. You'd ask yourself, why is this match significant? We'll tell you after the Norgard goal. This match would be significant because this is the game that Arsenal would lift the Premier League. Yes, we won the Premier League. It would be North London forever playing. The squad that Andrea Berta and Arteta have built is strong enough to win the Premier League in Football Manager. For the first time in a long time, Arsenal have won the Premier League. The board did not expect it. The board did not ask for it. But it's been done. Medals have been handed out. Thierry Henry came out and celebrated with the fans. It's beautiful. These are the scenes. But we made the final of the Champions League with all of our injuries to Gabriel, Zubamendi, and the likes. We had to make changes. But could we beat Real Madrid in the Champions League final? Could we go for the double? It would be Odegaard taking a free kick inside 3 minutes. Would he look for a Jova special? He would go for it and it would be 1-0. And it would look oh so positive for the Arsenal. It would be Eze back post. It would be Gyökeres, but he would be offside. Arsenal would continue their onslaught. Calafiori would lose the ball. Eze would get it back. Declan Rice would make yet another crucial mistake.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
How costly would it be? Real Madrid would then go on the charge. Mbappe would miss a sitter. We have end-to-end football here. It would be a mistake at the other end. The nerves are high. Victor Gyökeres would sky it. My, what a first half. Jude Bellingham would pick it up. That's Hulsen. It's Jude Bellingham. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid 2-1 up at extra time. Miles Lewis-Skelly. He would go long. He would find Victor Gyökeres. If anybody deserves to win, it's Victor Gyökeres. There would be another opportunity for Arsenal to lift it. Gabriel would miss a sitter, but it's another chance. Leo Trossard straight at the keeper. It's penalties. Do I commentate or do we just watch? Jude Bellingham is up. The first penalty take of the day. David Raya couldn't stop it. It's 1-0 Real Madrid. The man of the moment, Victor Gyökeres, lines it up. 1-1. You thought he'd missed, didn't you? Dean Hulsen being the second penalty taker. Would it be costly? It wouldn't. Dean Hulsen would score. 2-1 Real Madrid. Martin Odegaard would step up next. The skipper, Mr. Reliable. 2-2 to the Arsenal. Why did I say to the Arsenal? It's 2-2. Anyways, this is just heating up, chat. I'm streamer coded right now. Militao. Oh, he does score to make it 3-2. Leo Trossard. He would be a banker, wouldn't he? He would. It's 3-3. Vinny Jr. Why has he left it so late? It doesn't matter. It's 4-3. Gabriel Jesus doesn't look the most confident stepping up. Does he have the Jogo Bonito on his side? He doesn't. He misses.
What the fuck just
Gabriel Jesus has handed Real Madrid the trophy. They just need to score this. It's Brahim Diaz. Do we scapegoat Gabriel Jesus here? Why is he taking the penalty? Why is he on the field? Brahim Diaz. Real Madrid have won the Champions League. Questions asked. But those players have played through injury. If we look at the Premier League season, Arsenal won 30, only losing 2, 91 goals scored, 30 conceded, 96 points. What a season it was in the Premier League. City finished second, Liverpool, Tottenham, Brentford, Crystal Palace, and then Chelsea. Arsenal would average 2.53 points per game this season. If we go look at the most goals, they'd be third with 91, with Liverpool and City both scoring 103. They would have the second most shots with 623. We would have the second fewest shots against with 284. We would have the fourth most possession in the Premier League this season. We would not be there for tackles or dribbles, but we would be there with the most clean sheets, tied with Man City. But we would also have the fewest conceded goals. If we go over to the player stats right now, let's have a look at how my players actually played this season. My top scorer is Victor Gyökeres with 28 goals in all competitions this season for us. Then we have Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka both on 19, Madueke 9, Trossard 9, Kai Havertz, Eze and Martinelli and Jesus all on 8, and Ethan was 7. If we look at some assists, it would be Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka both with 15, Rice with 14 and Madueke with 11, and then it's Marino and Calafiori with 8 and 7. Gyökeres was 6. Some average rating, our best performer was Victor Gyökeres with a 7.24, Saka with a 7.23, and Odegaard, then Trossard. Don't worry about Jack Porter, barely played. But you can see a whole host of players with 7 and above across the entire season. That's the consistency you love to see from your team. If we have a look at the dream team, the UEFA team of the season, of course you have a whole chunk of Arsenal players. David Raya in goal, Saka and Odegaard in midfield, and Victor Gyökeres up top with Kylian Mbappe. Obviously a whole host of Madrid players as well. But if we go and look at who actually won the player of the season, it will be none other than Victor Gyökeres with his 9 goals and 3 assists in 13 games. That final performance, I think that really, tipped him above everybody else, deserved to win. But if we look at the Premier League team of the season, surprisingly not David Raya, but we do have Jurrien Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White, the Arsenal defense, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, and of course Victor Gyökeres as well. What a season. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I've been Waytoochillin, and hopefully you want to see more of this, and I will do more. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the season. Do you think that I tanked the season by losing the Champions League final, or I've succeeded by winning the Prem? Let me know what you think of Andrea Berta, his signings, and the way I used them. I've been Waytoochillin. Peace.